Good morning friends. Today we are going to discuss about the monocytes and the macrophages and basically their role in the inflammation as well as the other physiological functions. Myself Dr. S.K. Sutrkar, Department of Pathology. So monocytes are basically one of the largest leukocytes which is present in the circulation, and they can be differentiated or modified into the macrophages and other lineage dendritic cells. And in the diagram you can see a typical type of monocytes which is having a kidney shaped or bean shaped nucleus along with the moderate amount of cytoplasm. The number of these their number is basically around 2 to 8% in the circulation, and they are having the lifespan of 1 to 2 days in the circulation, and when they get modified into the macrophages, their lifespan may range from months to years. And depending on the CD markers, there is basically the the monocytes, they are subdivided into 3 subsets. The one is the classical monocyte, which is having a strong positivity for the CD14, and they are weakly positive for the CD16. The second one is the non-classical monocyte, which is weakly positive for the CD14 and strongly positive for the CD16, and the intermediate monocyte, which is strongly positive for the CD14 and weakly positive for the CD16. So this is monocytes which circulate in the blood. So if we go through the origin of these monocytes, from where basically they are the two important sites during the intraembryonic life. These progenitor cells in the yolk sac and liver, they basically differentiated into the tissue macrophages, and they resides in the liver as Kupffer cells, lungs as alveolar macrophages, and brain as microglial cells. And at different sites they are also migrated. On the other hand, most of the monocytes basically they basically released from the bone marrow from the differentiation of these hemopoietic stem cells, and they circulate, and wherever there is a need of these monocytes at the site of injury, at the site of repair, they will migrate there, and they basically they are activated there, and they release a lot of cytokines and other chemical mediators. So in the diagram you can see a typical monocytes which is having a kidney shaped or bean shaped nucleus along with the deep basophilic cytoplasm. On the other hand, you can see the activated macrophage which is having abundant amount of cytoplasm, and you can see a lot of granules are there which stores the different type of chemical mediators. If we go through the subtypes of these macrophages, so macrophages basically subtypes into 2 categories depending on their stimulation of the monocytes. If the monocyte they are stimulated by the microbial ligands or interferon gamma, they may be these monocytes they will modified into the classical activated macrophage, or they are also called as M1 macrophage, and they perform they release the various type of chemical mediators, and they are basically mainly concerned with the inflammation. So here you can see reactive oxygen species and nitric oxide and other lysosomal enzymes, they are secreted from these activated classical macrophages, and they will perform the microbicidal action, phagocytosis, and killing of the bacteria and fungi. Apart from this, they also release the different type of cytokines and chemokines which basically play a role in the inflammation and help in the recruitment of other inflammatory cells to the site of inflammation. On the other hand, if they are stimulated by the interleukin 4 or interleukin 13, they will these monocytes basically they modified into the M2 macrophages, or alternately activated macrophages, that they are called as M2 macrophages. And these M2 macrophages they have the different function from the M1 macrophage. Here you can see these M2 macrophages basically they appears in the later part of the inflammation, and they will release different type of chemical mediators such as interleukin 10 and transforming growth factor beta. And these two chemical mediators, they will have the anti-inflammatory effect over this M1 macrophage, and they also participate in the wound repair and fibrosis with the activation of transforming growth factor beta and release of different type of molecules. So these are the two subtypes. So here is the same diagram. M1 is basically concerned with the pro-inflammatory effect, whereas M2 is concerned with the anti-inflammatory effect. And the markers of these macrophages are the CD1 positive, they are CD1 positive and CD68 positive. So here you can see the different type of chemical mediators stimulate the monocytes and can be differentiated into different type of macrophages, and these M1 can be converted into M2 or M2 can be converted into M1 depending on their stimulation by the different type of chemical mediators. So if we go through the interaction between the lymphocytes and macrophages, basically these one of the important function of these macrophages is to present the antigen to the T cells. So here you can see it is the basically very important function of these. So they are also called as antigen presenting cells. So they will present the antigen to the T cells, and these sooner or later these T cells are basically found such TCRs or such TCR containing T cells which can recognize this antigen, and they get stimulated or they get activated. So these activated lymphocytes, they will release different type of cytokines, and here you can see if they secrete the interleukin 7, it will help in the recruitment of other leukocytes at the site of inflammation. And other hand, they also help in the B cells to basically to convert into the plasma cells, and they also release the interferon gamma, which is basically stimulated, and the classical macrophages, they are activated. So apart from the action of these macrophages as antigen presenting cells, they also have the they can also release the transforming this TNF or tumor necrotic factor and interleukin 1, and these are all concerned with the recruitment of these leukocytes, other leukocytes at the site of inflammation. So this is basically a relationship between the lymphocytes and macrophages. So if we go through the role of these macrophages, so as I said, these monocytes, they are recruited from the blood to the tissues, and they are called as tissue macrophages, and under the influence of interferon gamma, they are converted into classical type macrophage or M1 macrophage, and under the stimulation of interleukin 4, they are converted into M2 or alternatively activated macrophages. And these two subsets, they have basically we have discussed that they have different type of functions, especially the M1 macrophages, which are basically concerned with the inflammation and the tissue injury. So these basically these M1 macrophages, they will release lot of reactive oxygen species, proteases, cytokines, coagulation factors, and arachidonic acid metabolites, and these all these chemicals basically they participate in the inflammation. On the other hand, the M2 macrophages, when they are stimulated, they are concerned with the release of the growth factors, especially the platelet-derived growth factors, fibroblastic growth factors, and transforming growth factors beta, and these also release the different angiogenic factors, and they basically help in the remodeling of the collagenesis. So these are the few functions of these macrophages. So if we continue with the role of these activated macrophages, So they can release the important type of this interleukin 1 a important cytokine and T1 necrotic factor, and these interleukin 1 or T1 necrotic factor has different type of effect, local effect as well as the systemic effect. In the local effect, basically they affect the vascular endothelium, and the over the endothelium they cause increased expression of the leukocyte adhesion molecules and production of interleukin 1 from the endothelial cells, and they increase the procoagulant property and decrease the anticoagulant property. Second is the leukocytes. So they activate the leukocytes, and they will help in the production of different type of cytokines. And the third is the activation and proliferation of the fibroblast. So these all are the local effect, and they in turn result in the inflammation as well as repair. On the other hand, these interleukin 1 or T1 necrotic factor, it is having a systemic type of effect. Because of that, the patient will have the fever, and the counts, basically the WBC counts, it is increased. That is called leukocytosis. And apart from this, a lot of proteins, these are synthesized from the liver under the influence of interleukin 1. They are called as acute phase reactant or acute phase protein, and there is a loss of appetite, and there is a increase in the sleep. So these are the basically the systemic manifestation of these interleukin 1 which is released from the macrophages. So if we go through the macrophages, they are basically related to studied in relation to different granulomatous inflammatory lesions, especially the tuberculosis, where you can we can find the epithelioid cells, which are the macrophages, and later they will form the Langerhans type of giant cells. The second is the leprosy, in which also the granulomas formed. They are non-gazetting granulomas. Syphilitic granulomas are there. Cat scratch disease granulomas are seen in this condition also. Sarcoidosis, Crohn's disease, and all these conditions will have the major role of macrophages. So this is the microscopic view of this granuloma. Here you can see there is a formation of giant cells. These giant cells are basically formed by the coalition of these epithelioid cells, and they will convert into giant cells. And this is a typical tubercular granuloma. In the center you can see the caseating necrosis, along with the presence of different type of mononuclear cells, especially the lymphocyte epithelioid cells, and the Langerhans type of giant cells are also seen. So this is all about the role of macrophages in the inflammation as well as in the tissue repair. Thank you very much for watching this.